Hello everyone, my name is Gabe Moses, the creator and founder of live virtual play readings and the director of tonight's play reading, Blood at the Root. After our successful new play reading festival in January, we are so excited to be back with our 6th installment. Be sure to join us after the reading for a brief talkback with the cast. You can ask us questions in the live chat, and we will be sure to answer all of them. Please also note that this play has strong language and heavy subject matter, so children watching and listening should be under adult supervision. I would like to thank our graphic designer, PJ Moran, our stage manager working all the way from San Diego, Courtney Pobst, and all of our actors, Megan Lomax, Alexia Rastelli, Justin Mitchell, Loren Donnelly, Cole Demcher, and Nicholas Russa. I'd also like to thank you for tuning in and supporting the live virtual play readings community. And so, without further ado, please enjoy Dominique Morisseau's Blood at the Root.
It's a hot day in October.
Hot, hot.
Real hot.
Melt butter on a street hot.
Walking over coals with bare feet hot.
Heads nodding to a hype beat hot.
It's just hot.
Hot, hot.
But we ain't got no race problems here.
Not. This ain't about what you think.
Not. This was all just a prank.
Not. It's just hot.
Hot, hot.
Anger rising in your throat hot.
Belly feeling full of smoke hot.
Frustrated you could choke hot.
It's just hot.
Hot, hot.
Air so still there ain't no breeze.
Unmowed grass up to your knees.
Books and papers and 80 degrees.
Only whites sit at this tree.
Whole town sucked in 1960.
Ain't the way it ought to be.
But that's the way it is.
Until
Ain't the way.
something's gotta give.
But it ain't the way it ought to be.
But that's the way it is.
Until something's gotta give.
Till then we just stay hot.
Ooh, hot.
Hot, hot.
Have not.
Hot, hot.
Want not.
Hot, hot.
Live not.
Hot, hot.
It's just hot.
Oh, damn hot.
Feeling like summer when we in the fall.
Air conditioning at the mall.
Hot.
Hot.
Hot day in October. You know what today is? Today, a hot as hell day at school. Today, the day my 10-page paper in Miss Lawson's class is due, and I overwrote and have 11. My brother say I'm the only person he know that do more homework than given. Today, I don't care what's on the lunch menu because I ain't probably gonna eat it no way. Today, different. Today, you gotta wait to it. Today makes 3 years since my mom passed. Today, I woke up to the sound of my daddy crying, even though he said he wasn't. Today, my brother walked out of the door before breakfast was even finished, talking about he wasn't hungry. Today, I ate extra flapjacks just so I wouldn't waste no food, because mama used to hate that. Today gonna mean something different. Today can't be like no other day. Today gotta count for something. You gotta live life on the edge. That's what Mama always say. She used to. Break a rule or 10 or any to remember that ain't nothing more powerful than your own will. People with no will, apathetic. That's what she used to say. Apathy ain't nothing worse than it. Gotta have a passion, even if it's for selling drugs. At least you could put that energy into something else. Be productive. But just sitting back and sucking up air and not participating in the world around you, ain't nothing more selfish than that. I gotta participate. I got to. Today is hotter than a devil's ass. Today is the first day of the autumn equinox. Today, trees is full of color. Today, a day for change. Today, I'm gonna break a rule, or 10. Today, I'm announcing my decision to run for class president. Rule break number 1. Hot as hell. I need some shade.
You ought to stick to it.
Got no support.
Forget about support. Gotta gain support. Just go out for it, right?
Ain't never been one before.
Class president? Been one every year since the school opened.
Never one looked like me.
What's it matter? Look like you. Be one like you now. Who care about what it ain't never been? What's it matter?
Maybe don't matter. Maybe do. Be an uphill battle to win this race. Why do folks say that anyway? Uphill instead of what? A downhill battle?
It's a stupid saying. Whoever made it up was probably dumber than Alice Miller in 5th period econ.
You see how she was looking at me when I announced that I might run?
Alice Miller?
Looked at me sideways and all sorts of crooked.
Alice Miller is dumber than rocks.
Like I smelled like unwashed or rotten egg lack or something.
Like unwashed drawers or something.
ASHA, I'm serious.
or like Jesse's breath after eating pork rinds.
Like really serious.
His breath be smelling bad after them rinds though, don't it?
You do.
Like, Lord, boy, what kind of hot sauce do you put in them things? Shit smell like shit fire and hell coming out of his mouth.
He's still got the support of the whole football team. That's how he's even in this race. And they're going to be hard to win over. Got some kind of brother code or something between them. Even for the stupidest things, they stick by each other like flies to horse shit. And they don't get horse shittier than Jesse, you heard?
Well, I'm dating E-Money now, so maybe I can get him to sway him to your side.
You're dating E. Since when?
Since the other day when he told me I got a nice ass for a white girl.
He said that to you?
In front of half the team.
And you didn't smack him across his face? I would have smacked him across his face.
I did. And then I handed him my cell number.
What'd you do that for?
I like a man with honesty.
That ain't honesty. That's disrespect.
I think disrespect is thinking it and not saying nothing. If you think I got a nice ass, just say so. Get all the particulars out of the way. That's what I like.
You like it because you're crazy.
I like it because it's true. I got a great ass.
Shut up, Maine. That's why your mama's smelling like corn chips and toe jam. What a big sis.
Boy, get off of me. You smell like dollar store and cheap cologne.
All the shawties love my cologne.
All the shorties in your head.
Give me some chips.
You ain't got no chips.
You got something. I know you ain't eat all them Cheetos you had earlier. Mm-hmm.
Here, fool. Go on, get out my face.
What up, Wody?
What up, D?
DeAndre, why you bothering us? Ain't you got practice right now?
Nah, practice canceled for today.
Canceled? For what?
Well, I ain't going into details. Sign on the locker room door. Just say it canceled. But it must be something kind of serious. We got a game next week, and Coach been vexed trying to get us into shape. He don't never just be canceling.
Well, where you heading now?
I'm going over Derek's house for a bit. That's where everybody go and chill.
What about later with Daddy? It's supposed to be going down in sight.
Ain't talking about none of that right now.
You ain't going?
Ain't talking about none of that right now. That's what y'all want to do. Y'all go ahead on, but I ain't going in no graveyard.
But what about Daddy? I mean,
Hey there, ASHA. He said to tell you he going to Derek's.
What did he tell you to tell me that for? He can't speak for himself?
I don't know.
Tell him I don't be taking those secondhand messages. You know how to text me.
Whatever. Just telling you what I know.
what am I going to tell Daddy? What do you want me to say about you not coming with us? I mean, even though you knowing what it means to him.
Say whatever you want. You and him can go hold on to them bad memories till they make you crazy. I can't do it no more.
Ain't all bad memories.
Maybe not to you. Yo, tell Daddy I'll be home later. I'll catch you when I catch you.
Sending me stupid messages. What am I? Some groupie?
You know what today is?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
You know what you ought to do?
You ever notice ain't nobody else ever sitting under that tree? The sun is killing me right now.
Start a list of slogans. You be real good at it with all them lofty ways you be thinking.
I hate slogans.
Every candidate got slogans.
Except me, slogans ain't for me. Sounds like bullshit and lies. That's all.
Ain't gotta be lies. You make it sound like poetry.
Poetry can sound pretty and still be a lie. No slogans.
You just gotta see it. Can't have no campaign without slogans. I'm gonna come up with something and show it to you on a poster.
Ain't showing about no poster.
Just trust me.
You notice how it's been the same kind of people sitting under that tree? Never nobody different?
I ain't never really paid attention.
I ain't never seen nobody looking like me sitting under that tree. You know, never seen nobody like me run for class president. You ever look up one day and realize you've been doing the same thing for so long, you ain't even sure why? Like, you just following rules and ain't never stopped to question why it's a rule in the first place.
I don't know. Maybe.
They feel a different kind of day, don't it?
Different how?
New rule kind of different.
What you talking?
I'm gonna get me some shade.
What for? Don't go over there. Ain't nothing but a bunch of snobs and cliques set up under that tree.
And today, me too. Rule break number 2.
That's a good article. That's a good fucking article. Why every time I submit something, do you have to shit on it, Justin?
It's too long.
Long and good.
It doesn't matter how good it is, it's too long.
Then tell me where to edit it. I can take constructive criticism.
No, you can't.
Well, don't tell me I can't. I'm telling you I can.
You can't. You suck at criticism.
Oh, says who?
Says Melissa Bardot, our most recent story editor to quit. Says Joanne Seaver before that. Says Michael Hendricks and Barry Stevens and Colin Smith.
This is a crock of shit.
And you cuss too much.
Oh, like fuck I do.
Had to use so many symbols to bleep out your language in that last article. It looked like the whole thing was an alien code.
It was about freedom of speech. I was cussing to make a point.
Well, your point almost got our whole edition shut down and nearly got us all put out on probation. I promised Principal Miller I was going to do a better job at monitoring proper content for this paper, and I'm sticking to my word.
Justin, I'm trying to be a journalist in real life. Do you get that?
I don't see what this has to do
No,
with
in
anything.
real life, not in some pretend little high school basement where the most interesting thing in print is whether or not we're having fake horse meat on the lunch menu, or who in God's name among the popular and stuck up is going to win prom king and queen. I am not interested in whether or not the auditorium gets a fresh coat of paint before December, or whether or not the football team wins a single game this year. Okay? I am not interested in the pathetic little trifles that make up our sad existence as sheltered brats this side of the Mason-Dixon line. I am interested in the true art of journalism. I want to tell the stories everybody else at this school and in this town is too pussy to cover.
Jesus, Toria.
Like, how many girls at this school have covered up their abortions because their parents are too primitive to allow a sex ed course that isn't taught by 80-year-old Mrs. Wellesley, who wouldn't know how to model putting on a condom if she had a 10-foot penis statue right in front of her. I mean,
Toria.
or how about the number of boys on the football team who would rather be dating each other than any of the girls that they swap semen with? I mean,
Toria,
but because we're so
seriously.
anti-homo, they take it out on every chick at Cedar High, and that's why the number of relationship violence is like sky high right now.
You don't have the stats to prove that.
I could get them.
But you don't have them.
Or like how about the fact that none of the black students on campus hardly ever hang out with any of the white students on campus, or vice versa, because, I don't know, we're all kind of a bunch of racist pricks.
Toria, enough.
Well, I'm telling the truth.
It's a student paper. A student paper. We're not trying to change the world or disrupt capitalism or bring down the government. We're just giving the people something interesting to read while they're waiting on the bus or have a free period or something.
What's our readership, Justin?
I'm not doing this now. I've got to finish getting this layout done.
Oh, is it still 10 people? Or did we drop to 5 this month?
I'm working on a new layout to increase our popularity.
Oh, gee, a new layout. That's what's going to save our dying paper. Well, every other delusional student is at the school working on blogging on Facebook or networking about what colleges they're going to. You're going to work on some new colors for the layout. You're changing the font from Times New Roman to Comic Sans, and that's really going to make everybody lose their shit and run to pick up a fucking paper.
I don't have time for this, Toria.
Yeah, just print my fucking article.
It's about where to get good birth control. Do you seriously think I can print that?
Well, it's not just about that. It's about protecting yourself and having a healthy teen sex life. I mean, did you even read it carefully? Or did you get so excited at the word birth control that you skeeted on yourself before you could even finish?
You know what, Toria? I'm the editor now. I'm the editor and the copier and the publisher and everything else this dying paper needs. And I'm also the one student who hasn't stopped talking to you for basically everything because you're so obviously annoying. So write another damn article or else walk, because I ain't got the time to argue with you no more about it.
It's our senior year.
I know.
I want to cover something amazing. Just once. Just leave my handprint here, I mean, you've got to understand what that means. Aren't you sick of just being invisible at this place?
Who said I'm invisible?
Oh, Justin, please. You're more invisible than me, and I'm a damn near ghost. I don't want this year to be like every other one, where folks like us get lost forever in the abyss of nobodies because we're the only ones who know we're alive. Still waiting on this place to give back, I mean, these past 3 years, I ain't done nothing but give and give to this hellhole and ain't hardly reaped nothing. But I decided this year I can. Finally, find a purpose for what I am at the school. I'm an investigator. And I can't leave this year without fully defining what I am. This is the year that I can etch myself into stone, be a journalist. That's what I want, Justin. Don't you?
Maybe.
Then let me have a shot to break the rules a little bit. Write something exciting.
You can't do birth control. Got to answer to too many people. They'll shut it down.
God damn, Justin.
But if you can find another topic before I go print in 3 days, I promise to give it a fair read.
So, you admit you stopped at birth control.
3 days, Toria. Go get your ballsy story and keep it under 2,000 words, and it better fit into the new layout.
You ain't saying nothing but a word.
You on the football team?
Yeah.
Senior this year?
Yeah. So?
Transfer student, right?
Yeah. So?
Okay. Cool. It's like 3 of y'all this year. Transfer students.
I know.
Cool. My brother play on the team too. Running back, DeAndre.
He a junior?
That's him.
He's good.
Guess so.
Big ego.
That's him. What about you?
Quarterback.
That's one of the good ones, right?
You don't know the game.
Not much, just enough to scream touchdown when they kick the ball through the H-looking thing.
Nah, that ain't it. Never mind.
Football ain't really my thing. Just show up for these sometimes when he ain't getting on my nerves. Class was kind of crazy today, right?
Yeah.
Miss Hooper and then pop quizzes.
She give him a lot?
Only when she's in a bad mood. Like if she had a date night before something. But you can sometimes tell when she's going to go out on that date. She come in to school wearing that skinny jeans that she can hardly fit into. You can see her dressing that way, and you know that you better study up for later on your notes. Almost all of her dates be bad. Can't catch a man if she puts silk panties on a fish line. Don't nobody want to put up with all of her personality. Sound of her voice makes me want to cut my ears off most of the time.
It real high-pitched and squeaky.
I'd rather get run over by a truck than listen to her talk all night.
Mack truck.
Exactly. You don't seem like a football player.
What you meaning by that?
Ain't mean nothing bad by it. Just way we talking right now. Can't get most women to say 2 words to me unless they asking about D, but you just got knees or something.
You the first person that done, really.
Yeah? What's that?
Never mind.
I was wondering
Yeah?
if you was planning on voting for class president. Like, if you had made up your mind yet.
I ain't really thought about it. I got too much other stuff on the brain.
Oh. Well, if you get to thinking about it, maybe you will for me. I'm running.
Is you?
I am.
How come?
It's just time.
Yeah. Maybe.
Where you been at? Been looking for you for like 10 minutes.
Been right here.
You ain't heard?
Heard about what?
Lord, girl, shit done hit the fan. After you went and sat under the snob tree yesterday, they say 2 other ones done it too.
Other ones like who?
You know what I'm saying? One's like us.
Like us.
Black, fool.
Oh, so your ass ain't hard.
And now shit done hit the fan.
What kind of shit?
You gotta come see.
I'm RAYLYNN. Or you could call me Ray. That's who to vote for.
I'm calling to see you.
So it went something like this. School assembly the other day. New transfer student didn't know the ropes. Asked some kind of question about that tree. That huge oak tree sitting in front of our schoolyard. Call it old devoted because of how long she been planted there and never hacked or diseased. Got years of carvings and marks on it. Most folk around here know to just walk past it and leave it be. Know how things is at this school. These people eat with these people, those people eat with those. These folk hang out with these folk, those folk hang out with those. Ain't nobody got no problems with it. Ain't worth questioning. What's the use? It ain't hurting nobody. Folks like who they like, want to be near who they want to be near, and just so happen that folk like to be around other folk they got stuff in common with. That's just what it be. Now everybody knows that the tree out front, Old Devoted, just be a hangout spot for some of them cliques. But one of the new transfer students come down from North Carolina ain't know what it's like down here in Louisiana. Ask this question in front of the whole school. Ask,
Can only white people sit out under that tree out front?
Trying to start trouble.
They always trying to start trouble.
Sound like trouble to me.
It was a fair question to ask.
and then the student got taken out the assembly, got reprimanded by half the faculty for being disruptive. But later that day, this one senior got something in her head about Old Devoted. Say that senior?
They call me Ray.
And now she's running for class president. Say she just felt fed up yesterday, or maybe like some kind of martyr. Who knows? Say she just went over to where that tree was and sat down underneath it. Call it getting some shade. Then say after a while, 2 other students done went over, maybe following her lead, 3 black students sitting under a tree that everybody else know be a hangout for these cliques.
White cliques.
And now today, whole school is in an uproar. Come out to the yard at lunchtime and that's when everybody see 3 nooses hanging on the branches of that great oak tree.
3 nooses.
3 nooses.
That's what everybody see.
3 nooses hanging on the branches of that great oak tree.
It was just a prank.
What's the big deal?
Nooses hanging like vines.
And it went just like that. That's what the story is.
And you're gonna let me write it?
With just the facts, yes.
I mean, what facts? Are there really just facts to this, or a lot of shades of gray here, Justin?
Toria, you wanted to do an interesting story that we can print in the paper? I'm giving you an interesting story.
So I'll talk to some folks, get their side of the scoop, find out why somebody would do something so racist.
Not racist, Toria. You're putting too much opinion on it. They're just calling it a prank.
A prank.
That's what Principal Miller is calling it.
It's nooses, Justin.
It's a rope hanging from a tree, Toria. Rodeo rope.
We ain't got no rodeo teams here, Justin.
Toria, look, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm doing what I promised. I'm giving you a story to cover.
Except you don't really want me to cover it.
I just want you to do what you're supposed to do as any good journalist would. Be objective. Don't get carried away with your feelings, just state the facts.
Feelings is what makes good writing, Justin. The rest ain't nothing but empty words on paper. Don't you got no feelings about all of this yourself?
What's that supposed to mean?
Seeing them ropes, I mean, dangling from the tree like that. I know it would make me feel some type of way. Know that.
You got something you trying to say to me, Toria?
I'm just asking.
Well, don't ask. In fact, I'm right and tired of all of your questioning. You question everything I damn say. Unless you forget, I'm in charge. I'm the one to do the questioning, so take the story or back off. But don't ask me another goddamn thing, Toria. I swear.
Yes, sir. Boss.
That's right. That's exactly right. And don't fucking forget it.
People don't know this about me, but I used to have a lot of anger. You might not think it by looking at me, but I could really throw down. When I was 9, my mama and daddy got a divorce, was fighting and fighting all the time and couldn't never get on the same page. So they split. I went to stay with Mama in Florida for a while before she moved here to Louisiana. But when I was about 10, I started getting in trouble at school. Fights and everything. Just mad all the time and didn't know why. So my mama sent me over to live with Daddy in Georgia for a couple of years. He had himself a new wife and everything. Living good in Atlanta with a new house and all that. Wife was a Black woman. Her name was Sharon, and she was cool as hell. I liked her out the gate, and that's saying a whole lot because I ain't like nobody out the gate who'd be dating my daddy. But she was something special. Treated me like a daughter. Didn't try to replace my mama or nothing like that, or even act like she could. I think that's what I like about her. She was just real easy with me. Ain't had her own kids, but had a bunch of nieces and nephews, and she told them to call me cousin, so they did. Used to hang with them whenever it'd be a family get together. They say, "What up, cuz?" like that. And I remember feeling for the first time like I belonged somewhere. Like I finally ain't need to fight no more because I was in company that felt like home. And I stopped being so angry all the time. Angry at Mama and Daddy, angry at myself, even angry at the After a while, Mama called for me to come move with her here. I was like 12. But I wasn't the same no more. I ain't feel as comfortable back here. Not until I started hanging out again with They used to call me Black by association, all of my friends and play cousins in Atlanta, but here they just call me fake or wannabe or acting Black. But you know what I think? If acting Black mean being like Sharon, mean finding family and love in places you weren't expecting, if it mean not being angry unless you got good reason, then maybe we should all be acting Black more often. That's all I got to say about that.
It happened the next day after seeing those 3 nooses hanging like vines. Something had to be done. Something just had to be.
So D come around, he said,
Y'all see that shit? How they just hang them shits on them branches like what was that? A threat or something?
a prank, Principal Miller calling it.
That's bullshit. Wouldn't be no prank if the shoes was reversed.
You mean if the roles was reversed? How she was gonna be reversed?
Whatever, you know what I'm meaning.
Be walking around backwards.
What they gonna do about it? That's what I want to know.
One of them Jesus freaks in my 4th period class, but that's who hung him. They was looking at me funny when Ray sat under that tree.
Or if the shoe was on the other foot. Maybe if you had said that.
Who cares what I said?
Or maybe it was that hash gang that be sitting up under there getting higher than a bluebird most of the time and don't never get in trouble for puffing on school grounds talking about it's medicinal. Medicinal my ass.
Principal ain't say who it was. Just say they're gonna deal with it private and the students will be punished.
Heard whoever they is getting detention.
Detention? What kind of punishment is that?
You have detention for misbehaving in class, missing homework assignments, not for no nooses.
Not for no threats.
Detention with Mr. Snotter and all that farting he be doing be more like prison, gas chamber.
Still, it's like a slap on the wrist. Ain't really justice. It ain't really fair.
Well, what we gonna do about it, huh? Talk about it while we straight getting disrespected? So we just gonna take it, huh?
You ain't just gonna take it.
What you meaning?
I think it's time to revisit the tree.
That's what I'm talking about.
Revisit it for what?
For defiance.
Defiance?
Start a rally.
A demonstration.
For who? For what? Why we gotta do anything else? Already sat under it and made your point. Now I just gotta let them fools get in trouble by themselves.
Ain't about trouble. It's about principle. About who belongs where, about freedom to be somewhere and who don't. I ain't trying to back down from no nooses hanging.
Racist ass nooses hanging.
Maybe it wasn't racist.
How's it not gonna be racist? What else it gonna be?
It'd be just stupid.
All right then, it's stupid and racist. They usually go hand in hand, don't it?
One right.
I know it wasn't right, but it was what it was. Stupid for sure, but that don't mean we gotta get involved with it. What you gotta go causing more issue about it for?
Causing more issue?
I don't mean it like that.
What you mean? I don't know what you mean.
I'm just
No.
saying.
Maybe what?
Maybe we ain't got to get all wired up about the whole thing. It's just a tree.
Oh shit.
Ain't just a tree to me.
I'm just saying that maybe.
I don't know what you're saying.
Hey, look, it's time to make ourselves seen and heard, you know? We gonna do something?
I'm going. You come?
I can't afford to get in no trouble. Promised my mama I wasn't gonna have no issues this semester.
Fine then.
That don't mean I ain't. I'm still your girl.
Yeah, so of course.
We're still good, right?
Sure. Let's go, D.
It was like some shit out of a civil rights documentary, like the kind they'd be showing in class. And most of the folks be falling half asleep. I seen this one kid in third period start drooling on the desk when he was watching this one. Eyes on the Prize, it called. Real interesting to me, but guessing not to most everybody else. I interested because it's nice to know what done happened before I showed up somewhere. Nice to know how things used to be, and that things as they are now come from something. It all got roots. Way somebody choose not to sit next to somebody in the lunchroom got roots. Way somebody got problems with the flag somebody else wear on their t-shirt got roots. Way some people talk the way they talk, or hang out with who they hang out with, or love who they love, or hate who they hate. All got roots. I feel halfway comforted knowing it ain't just start with us. That it been this way. That somebody's been planting these awful feelings in the soil somewhere. Long before we came along and started pulling up crops. We've been digesting this same stuff, grown in this same soil and ain't even know it. So, I like seeing stuff like that. Eyes on the Prize, documentaries on the civil rights movement. When that happened today at school, when those students went and stood under that great oak tree, old devoted, they call it, looked like some kind of protest. Looked like something like from another time. From a civil rights time. And it got me thinking. What kind of crop is the folks after us going to dig up? Is it still going to be from the same old soil? Or is we ever going to plant something new?
Students of Cedar High,
You don't stop these protests!
as your principal, I'm warning you.
If you don't stop these protests,
I have the local district attorney here.
you don't stop these protests.
Please disassemble this gathering immediately,
Gang activity.
or the authorities will be forced to take action against you.
You ain't got the right.
We will not be moved.
I can erase you from sight. You must not know my power.
We will not be moved.
Been standing here for hours.
Right.
I can take away your life.
Stop our rights.
I can take away your life. With the flick of my pen.
We will not be moved.
Want me to say it again?
We will not be moved.
You don't stop these protests.
We have the right to learn.
If you don't stop these protests.
We have the right to speak.
If you don't stop these protests.
We have the right to live.
I can take away your life with the flick of my pen.
Students at Cedar High, listen real good.
If you don't stop these protests, I can take away your life with the flick of my pen.
Please disassemble from the tree immediately before disciplinary action is taken. Yesterday, at Cedar High, Black students gathered in front of Old Devoted during lunchtime in protest of the 3 nooses being hung from its branches a day prior. The group was quickly disassembled when Principal Miller, the DA, and local authorities arrived to break up the protest. Their concern: we don't want no gang activity here on school grounds. Well, but the students had different things to say about that accusation.
Nobody and no gangs.
Why would they call us gangs? They call the students that put those nooses up gangs too?
Personally, I don't think a protest was necessary. What's it really change?
Something can be stupid or disrespectful without it being about race.
Lately, it seems like there's been growing unrest happening here at Cedar High, and things may fall more apart before they come together.
So I was standing in front of that Piggly Wiggly on Jefferson, asking for change to catch the bus back home, because by this point, school was almost over. I was cutting class all day, but knew I had to get home or I'd have hell to pay. I spent my last dime with the big boy trying to get me some lunch, so I started begging folks for whatever they had. Quarters, dimes, even pennies. And that's when this fellow with this raspy voice say to me, "How much you need there?" And I look up, staring straight into the face of Philip Frazier.
Of Rebirth Brass Band?
The original founder.
He's a damn lie.
Swear it.
I had to feed myself.
Almost did.
What'd you say, Mom?
At first, I ain't said nothing. As soon as I saw it was him, I just went dumb. I couldn't remember my own name for a second.
Then what happened?
Then he get impatient with me. Like, I say, "What you need there?" So I say, real stupid like, "Can I have a quarter for the bus, sir?"
You shut up. You ain't still asking for a quarter.
Couldn't think of nothing else to say.
I mean, I'd have told him he is the most amazing tuba player in the whole South. I'd have told him he ain't no better band than Rebirth Brass Band. I'd have told him he's a god.
You'd ask him for a quarter to catch a city bus for your mama found out you've been skipping school all day.
So, that why you come here? Got kicked out of your school for skipping too much?
Something like that.
Why you skip? You ain't had no good classes, or you're just some kind of rebel?
At my old school, shit just wasn't really good for me.
What's that mean?
Just mean what it mean.
Oh, I guess that's enough studying for one afternoon.
You a good tutor.
Ain't nothing to it.
Real patient and cool. Don't make me feel stupid for being behind a little bit. Hard to change schools in the middle of a semester.
I figure it must be. If you need any help again, just ask. I come meet you this period. It's better than making copies for Mrs. BJ all hour long.
Thanks.
You believe all that happened yesterday?
About that tree?
Police came up to tell us to get out of there like we were criminals or something.
I saw it. It was like 10 of y'all. Looked like something out of civil rights or something.
I like it too. Only thing missing was the dogs chasing us.
Seem unnecessary, you ask me. They ain't need to do all that. Just let folks be where they want to be. Do what they want to do. Ain't gotta be all that police and DA and none of that.
You come to this school at a crazy time. Or maybe you're just right on time. I ain't so sure yet.
You got lots of fight in you. I can tell.
Fighting me?
Like for belief or something. That seemed like a good thing.
Yes, and I get it from my mama. Daddy says she used to find injustice in everything. Write a letter to the supermarket if they ain't have fresh vegetables. Write a letter to the transportation authority if the buses was running late. Write a letter to the mayor if the road had too many potholes in it.
Sound like she stay busy.
Used to. She's gone now.
Oh. Sorry.
It's all right.
You,
Yeah?
I like you.
Oh,
Sorry, I ain't mean to.
no, it's okay.
I just meant.
I mean, I think you. I ain't never been with no boys that look like. I mean, my friend ASHA, she white, and her boyfriends be whatever kind of race she be feeling like being that day. But me, I just ain't never. I mean, maybe, but I just ain't never thought about dating no one like you before.
No.
Oh, you ain't mean.
I.
Oh God, I mean, Jesus, I should go.
Ray, I ain't mean.
Nah, it's just, I need to,
It ain't you.
I feel stupid.
You ain't stupid.
I should have known you wasn't meaning. I mean, why would you mean?
It ain't that. It's just.
Just as friends, right?
Well, yeah.
Great, got it. Gotta go.
Ray, wait.
What?
It ain't you.
You keep saying that.
'Cause I mean it.
Oh, what's it mean?
Means I'm.
You what? You mean you don't like, I mean, ain't attracted to.
Don't want to talk about this no more.
Shit. I didn't know you was that way.
That way? What way is that?
You know, I mean, like, not trying to offend you or nothing, but
I gotta get going.
Colin.
I said I gotta get going.
Okay.
I decided I was gonna vote for class president. Was planning to cast my vote for you. Just in case you was wondering.
Things at Cedar High can be real divided. Lots of lines get drawn and everybody want to know what side you standing on. Now me, I get by like I always done. Be studious, be focused, be attentive. That's never done me much for popularity. Doesn't give me the most friends. It keeps me, well, I don't like TORIA calling it invisible. I mean, who does she? She doesn't know me. Nobody knows me. That's the point. But at this stage in the game, I'm not asking for that anymore. Sure, it might have bothered me when I was a kid. What kid likes to be the outcast? Sure, it might have made me sad or like some story from an after school special, but that's not the case anymore. I figured out that none of that matters anymore. Folks like me, there's no space where we really fit, you know? Like no side we really make sense on. I've always just existed in the cracks. So when they come asking me where I stand, what do I say? Whose side am I supposed to take? Black kids protesting, white kids pranking. What side am I supposed to be on when none of them ever, when ain't none of them really, when I just seem to belong to myself, and that's it. That's the side I'm on. But here at Cedar High, everybody wants you on a side. Want to know where your loyalties lie. And what I gotta say about it? Who's been loyal to me? Find me one person that can answer that question, and I'll tell you what side I'm on. Till then, it's all about being objective. That's the only way I know to survive in the cracks.
Justin, you heard about it?
Heard about what?
A fight broke out in the cafeteria. Some members of the football team got into an altercation.
What kind of altercation?
Where you been at? Down here burying your nose in articles while major dysfunction is happening all over the school?
More dysfunction.
There's a story in this. Come on, we've got to jump on it.
I was just sitting in the lunchroom minding my business.
I was eating with my friends and somebody yelled, "Fight! Fight!" Just like
Yo,
that.
I saw him. It was like 6 black students. I saw him.
It was like 20 of them.
100.
It was 6.
They was jumping on this white boy.
That ain't what I saw. I saw a white boy and a black boy get into an argument. Then the white boy hit the black one. That's what I saw.
I saw the black boy hit the white boy first.
I ain't seen nothing. I was just minding my business.
They play for the same team. That's what I heard.
2 football players got into that argument.
Somebody said something about somebody's mama, I think.
Somebody called somebody a fag, I think.
Somebody used a racial slur.
I think they was all telling your mama jokes. That's what we do sometimes. White boy must have taken it personally. It ain't personal.
I think the black boy got mad at the white boy because he ain't got a mama no more. Can't tell a your mama joke to somebody with no mama.
I heard the black boy was the one starting the yo mama jokes in the first place. How you gonna tell yo mama jokes if you don't want somebody else saying one back to you?
I heard it ain't had nothing to do with no jokes. I heard it was something that happened during practice.
I heard they got into fight during practice the other day.
I heard the coach found out one of the boys on the team is a faggot.
Oh, you ain't supposed to call him that. It's racist.
It ain't racist to say faggot.
Well, it's something. You ain't supposed to say it.
I heard coach shut down practice the other day to deal with the
Homosexual.
You ain't supposed to say that either.
You ain't supposed to say homosexual.
It still sounds offensive.
Everything is offensive now.
Then the black boy.
You ain't supposed to say that neither.
What I'm supposed to call him?
African black.
African American.
Just call me black.
Then the black boy ended up bumping into the white boy.
Can you still say white?
What the hell else are you gonna say?
Just American?
We all
American.
American.
Well, why everybody else gotta be called something from somewhere and all we get is a color?
Everybody made y'all a color. Y'all made yourselves a color and everybody else one too. Don't be trying to change the rules now.
What rules? I ain't make no rules.
I'm just saying, your great-grandparents did.
The white boy and the black boy and the faggot?
Sound like a bad joke.
Don't you dare say faggot again. I'm going to smack the next person and say faggot.
And it wasn't 3 people, just the white boy and the black boy.
Ended up being a whole bunch of black boys.
They joined in.
And what they joined in for, they was all starting trouble.
That's just the code of brotherhood. You see one of your peeps throwing down, you gotta join in.
Well, they joined in, I guess. All joined in and ended up jumping that white boy.
I heard they was all planning to jump that white boy from the beginning.
Why would they do that?
Thugs.
What makes them thugs?
Thuggish behavior.
Like Jumping folks?
What if somebody jumped the black boys too? I mean, what if it was just payback?
What if it wasn't? What if it was just random hate?
Nah, I heard one of them black boys was jumped last week at a party by some of them white boys.
Maybe this was payback.
Still don't make it right.
Ain't none of it right.
Whatever happened to the white boys that jumped the black boy at the party last week?
Nothing.
Did they get in trouble?
Nope, nothing.
Well, wasn't on school grounds. This was on school grounds.
What's gonna happen to these boys today?
Oh, they're in a shitload of trouble.
A major shitload of trouble.
Heard that white boy got sent to the hospital.
Say he got beat up pretty bad.
And this got something to do with those nooses hanging from that tree?
This got something to do with that protest that happened the other day?
Or is it all just random?
Is it all just random?
What's gonna happen to those boys now?
White boy in the hospital and then black boys.
There's 6 of them?
20.
100.
It was only 6.
I heard they done got arrested.
I know one of them boys too.
Oh, I know one of them too.
They say the white boy, he's new to the school. His name's Colin, I think. Transfer student.
Other one I know, that's RAYLYNN's brother, DeAndre.
And both of them are in a shitload now. A real shitload.
I was just minding my business. Like I always do. Like I do every day. Don't got time to be worrying about nobody else.
I got a plan. Gonna get drafted and get out of here. Go pro.
Buy my mom a new place for herself.
Move my family to a new hood.
Same dream us all got.
So you probably ain't thinking about nothing neither. Same dream.
Same plan. Same slim chance.
Probably ain't thinking I got good odds.
But you check my stats. Tell me I ain't brought my A game to every play I made this year.
Tell me I ain't something ripe to get picked.
So why would I want to go messing all that up, huh?
You think I'm part of some gang or something?
You need to check my stats, because you ain't got it right.
You got me wrong if you think I'd do anything to kill my chances at having something better. And I ain't got no problems with no folks with no conduct.
I ain't got no feelings on race or... This ain't got nothing to do with that. Not for me. No way.
I hit somebody. Show. But it was in self-defense. Why would I want to mess that up, huh? You tell me, why would I want to... Plans.
My mama. Roof of our house. About to cave in. You know that? My mama's sitting there like she watching it in slow motion. And ain't got no money or no job to do nothing about it. It's gonna cave in on her and she can't stop it.
I lost my mama years ago. Got shot right out on the front porch. The drive-by. And now, my daddy sit on that porch till he rot. You know that? He just sit there like the whole porch gonna collapse on him and he can't stop it.
But I can. Go pro. Buy my mom a new house. Get drafted straight out of here.
Move my family out of this hood so that we ain't gotta think about this no more. I won't even have to go to no college. I got on a fast track to something better. So why would I wanna... wouldn't mess this up, you heard? Not for no...
Not for nobody. You heard?
Like I say.
They came after me. I ain't started nothing.
I was provoked. I ain't started nothing.
And that's the truth.
And that's the truth.
Today at Cedar High, 6 young male students, black male students, were arrested for allegedly assaulting. I gotta be clear, allegedly assaulting a young white male student after an altercation broke out on school grounds. And now the campus is in an uproar. The campus is divided, and 6 boys' lives 6 students' lives. 6 young men's lives are left hanging in the balance. 6 young men. Some of them on the football team with promising college careers have been arrested and are awaiting the charges. This could be a huge tear in the community of this whole campus, and the lives of the 6 Black male students hang desperately in the balance as we wait and wait and wait and wait and wait for the results. Send. Yeah.
Ain't heard from you in a couple of days. Heard about D? They done arrested him?
Got him sitting in jail like some criminal.
Jail? God damn.
Been suspended indefinitely, Miller say.
What about the other guys?
All been suspended and in jail.
Colin gets suspended too?
No. But ain't seen him. Ain't been in school since it happened.
I just can't believe this. None of this.
Can't you?
I just can't believe how things done turn around here in the last few days.
Turn around. You prefer things the way they used to be, huh?
I ain't said that. I just mean,
What you mean?
shit, Ray. Why you got so much attitude at me?
Because I'm mad.
Mad at me?
Mad at everything. And maybe the whole damn South.
Well, mad because I ain't stand under that tree with y'all?
You can do what you want to do.
I ain't know what to do about that. I ain't know how to feel.
So you do nothing, just sucking up air, apathetic.
I ain't apathetic. Don't call me that.
What is you?
I don't know. I just ain't feel like, for some reason, it didn't feel like I belonged out there.
Belonged out where?
With everybody, all the Black students.
You always been with us before, looking and pretending like you us. But just when we go and stick our neck out on the line, all of a sudden, you don't feel like you belong.
That how you seeing it?
How else am I supposed to see it?
I don't know. Truth is, I ain't never felt so white till this all started going on.
You is white.
I know, but I ain't never felt like it. Most of the time I'm around y'all, I just feel like one of the same. But as soon as it started being a thing, I don't know. As soon as it started being like a statement or whatever.
Must be good for you
What's that mean?
to be able to put it on and take it off whenever you want. Not me. I don't get to choose. I got this for life.
Why it gotta be such a thing all of a sudden? Why it gotta mean everything you do be about that? Every time somebody get in trouble, nah. Every time somebody get in a fight, nah. Every time somebody do something stupid, now it always gotta have something to do with being Black?
You're asking me that?
I'm asking anybody who got the answer.
I don't know the answer. I don't know why it gotta be a thing all the time. I just know I ain't make it that way. I'm just reacting. I ain't put those nooses on that tree.
What if it wasn't about race? Just what if?
What if someone spit in your face and say it wasn't disrespect? That make it the spit feel any better to you? That make it any less spit?
No, but like
Spit is spit. It's disrespect. It's violence. Just because you call hate a joke don't make it one, especially if ain't nobody laughing.
Shit, you so impatient.
Impatient with who?
Everybody that don't see stuff fast as you. That don't make us your enemy.
Ain't say it did.
Ain't gotta say it. Hot than a bitch today, ain't it?
Yep. Ain't feeling nothing like October, feeling like July.
The whole world gonna explode into a ball because we all overheated and can't do nothing but fight each other.
That's pretty morbid, ASHA.
I know it. Dating Eve done made me morbid. He got a sixth sense of romance. Spend the whole evening with him watching that horrible documentary, Faces of Death. Who in the hell want to spend date night watching a million different ways of people blowing up and dying? I think I'm gonna have to expire this unbalanced relationship. Oh shit! I almost forgot your campaign poster.
I told you I don't want no campaign.
I know you don't like slogans, but I heard you saying this before, and I thought
it's amazing.
I sure do hope you don't get in more trouble, Ray. He ain't no kind of bad, and I hope they see him.
Shit, I almost forgot. I gotta go.
Where are you going? I'll come with you.
Nah, I gotta take care of something for my brother on my own.
You got it?
Got what?
The article I sent you. I know I emailed it at the last minute, but there was just so much to cover.
Was supposed to write 3 different articles, short articles under 2,000 words, but you sent a novel.
I started to do that and keep the issues separate, but then I figured with all what's been going on, maybe they ain't so separate. Students in detention for hanging nooses on a tree, 6 black students in trouble for jumping 1 white student on the football team with possible homophobic undertones, a black student running for class president for the first time in the history of this school.
Well, goody for you for doing your homework, TORIA. Now explain to me how all that's supposed to fit into my layout.
Justin, screw your layout. Did you read my article? This is the type of journalism that could single-handedly save our press.
Single-handedly?
I'm just saying.
Your article ain't making it. I've taken submissions from the 2 sophomores and 1 junior who wanted to contribute. They followed the guidelines.
You did what?
I failed the slot.
You're bluffing.
I'm not. There goes the test one right there. Soon as I get this border lined up, I'm going to final print.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
I'm not kidding.
Underclassmen? You're going to fill the senior press with articles from underclassmen.
You've left me no choice.
These articles are bullshit. This one is a report on the different types of after-school activities. Do you know that?
I know that.
I mean, and this one, a debate on whether or not we should keep vending machines in the basement or move them to the 2nd floor? Are you serious?
It's a good debate.
Oh, it's bullshit, and you know it. It doesn't deal with anything real that's been going on at this school.
No, it doesn't provide another platform for drama. That's what you're really mad at.
Drama?
That's right.
You're out of your fucking mind, you know that?
Don't swear at me, TORIA. You're pushing it.
Oh, I'm pushing it. Justin, what in the hell? I mean, even for you, this is ridiculous. You know my article was good. I did what you said I had to do. I was objective. I pointed out the holes on all sides. I thought about the black students and everything they must have been feeling this whole week, like it had happened to me.
It didn't. It didn't happen to you.
It's my job to imagine if it did. The way those students got arrested for that fight, tried as adults, don't that make you just a little bit? I mean, as one of them.
One of who exactly, TORIA?
A black guy, Justin. Jesus, Why are we always tiptoeing around saying it all the damn time? I'm white. You don't see me afraid to say it.
You're also obnoxious.
Might be, but at least they ain't shamed.
What? What'd you just say to me?
You heard me. And I ain't apologizing.
You think you know what I am. You think you know me.
I know enough.
You don't know a damn thing about me. Call me ashamed. Shamed of what? Being black? That's all you got.
Why don't you stay quiet with all this racial stuff going on?
Maybe I don't have no strong opinion about it this way or that. You ever think about that?
Oh, that's bullshit. My granddaddy says opinions and assholes. Everybody's got both.
I ain't your granddaddy.
You hide from every possible thing that actually deals with something real. Every time I bring up some kind of injustice, you dodge the conversation. Tell me to be objective about every damn thing. I mean, how can you go through life being so removed all the time?
You said you wanted to be a journalist in real life? What you think they do? Their whole operation's about not letting stuff get to them, not taking life so personal, just seeing a thing as a thing and not getting yourself tied up into it.
A good writer can see themselves in everyone.
I can see people who look like me doing stuff I'd never think to do, acting in ways that ain't natural to me. Because we got the same skin, I'm supposed to see myself in that. Most
shit is just
school don't know or care whether I'm alive or dead, but I'm supposed to see myself in them.
Some shit is just upsetting, no matter who you are.
Who are you to tell anybody else what to care about?
No, I'm just me. You ain't the first person to be invisible. You think I don't know what it's like to be on the periphery all the time? You think any of these girls here are inviting me to their parties, or any of these boys around here are asking me for a date? But that don't make me think less of them. That makes me sorry for them.
You know what I've been called by them? The people I'm supposed to see myself in?
Oh, how am I supposed to know?
Oreo, ice cream sandwich, black on the outside, white on the inside, sellout, nerd, loser, white boy.
Justin, I don't need
lame, whack, corny, weak nigga, because I don't like to fight. Punk, soft,
Justin, okay,
gay nigga, also because I don't like to fight.
All right, Justin,
corny
you made your
nigga,
point.
Any kind of nigga you can think of except my nigga. That's my nigga. Never anything welcoming, just the stuff that keeps me separate. Every year, same shit, same name, same insults, because I don't match, because I don't fit the thing in your head or their head or somebody's head or what I'm supposed to be. Well, you know what you can do with your supposed tos? Go fuck yourself with them. Because I don't care how you want to see yourself, but don't tell me how to go through life if I didn't go this way, if I didn't remove myself from all the hate and pain and anger that's thrown at me every damn day. I might lose my shit and knock everybody's head off. You get it? So you're living like me, don't fucking tell me how to survive. I gave the story to you. Told you to state the facts. Why you always gotta color it in with something else?
I don't know, Justin. Seems to me like that's where the truth is. In the color.
Hope I ain't bothering you. None.
Yeah, well.
Your mama looked like I was interrupting your dinner time or something.
She'll get over it.
I like the way she keeps the flowers real neat.
It's all right.
My brother, what are you going to do about him?
You seriously asking me?
I'm asking you.
What do you think I ought to do?
Talk to the DA. Get him to drop the charges.
You can't be serious.
Why can't I?
I get him to drop him, and then what?
Let even be even.
It's simple as that to you.
He said it was simple. Nothing about this whole thing is simple, just even, fair.
You know what he done?
Y'all got into a fight.
They jumped me.
Not D.
Yes, D.
He say he was provoked by you.
That what he said.
You ain't call him nothing? Out of his name like that, something racial that I don't even want to repeat. You don't think that was provoking?
He tell you what he called me?
He say he ain't say that.
You know what that feel like?
He say he ain't call you that.
He laughed at it, didn't he?
Laughing ain't the same as calling.
That word. Ain't nothing funny about it. Hate that word.
The team just being stupid, making dumb jokes.
Just like them nooses was a joke?
That ain't the same.
Of course it ain't.
And what you calling him wasn't no better.
Except I hear them calling it to themselves all the time.
Still ain't your right to repeat it.
I was mad. Offended.
Don't make it better. Every time somebody hurt, all they want to do is hurt back. It don't make nothing better.
You know why I left my last school?
They ain't liking your lifestyle.
Because couldn't nobody make sense of me. See, if I was a faggot, I ought to be looking like some kind of sissy or being soft like. They know what to do with that. Makes sense to them. But being on the football team, playing just as hard as the other fellas, harder even, that don't add up in they math. That make them real nervous. If somebody seemed normal like me can be this way, then it'd only be a real thin line between them and me. And don't nobody like that. Not nobody.
I ain't treated you that way.
I ain't know you was that way. Ain't that what you say?
I ain't mean nothing bad by that.
Nah. What, you mean something good?
Nah, but like what? You want me to say sorry?
I don't want you to say nothing. Don't do me no favors.
Well, I don't agree with it, okay? Just telling the truth.
Agree with what? What's for you to agree with? Ain't none of this about you. Who care if you agree? What that got to do with nothing?
That ain't something that makes sense to me. You want me to apologize for how I was brought up? I ain't never had to be around that before.
What if I told you I ain't never had to be around people like you before? What if I told you my mama say all kinds of things about your brother that I ain't gonna repeat? What if I don't agree with who you are neither?
That don't make no sense.
No, it don't.
He's my brother.
I know who he is.
We lost our mama 3 years ago. Said they was making your mama jokes through practice. Think that ain't fuel him none. You know how that affected him.
What do I care what fuel him? He done what he done. You see this gash here? This don't care about no fuel. You know what they done to my ribs? Want me to show you the bruises?
No.
Tell me about no fuel. We all got something that fuel our anger. That don't make it all right.
I ain't say it was all right, but we ain't talking revenge. They're gonna try him as an adult. You know that? You know what that means? Say the DA calling it attempted murder? You know that?
What that got to do with me?
You hearing what I'm saying? We ain't just talking about getting some kind of payback. We ain't just talking about hurting your pride or your feelings or even a couple of bruises.
Couple.
This is the dirty South. Fights happen all the time. My brother been jumped about 3 times in his life. One time he was only 13 and had suffered a concussion. You think the older boys what jumped him going to jail? They ain't done nothing but go on about their lives and grow up eventually. Ain't no DA talking to us, making no big case out of it.
How's that my fault?
They saying it's your fault. I ain't saying it's all right what happened to you. I ain't saying my brother wasn't wrong for fighting you, even though you called him out of his name. But what you're doing is ain't no temporary punishment. You press charges and you're messing with his life. You heard me? With the life of my whole family. You really think that's justice?
I don't think none of this is justice.
What you've been through ain't nothing new. You think you above an ass whooping? We all get our ass whooped. The rest of us just deal with it. That'll be life.
Get out. I don't want you here no more.
What? Wait, I mean, wait a minute.
Nah, ain't no wait a minute. Time for you to go.
You ain't even hearing reason.
I done heard enough of your reason.
Colin.
I say leave.
You know, even though you is the way you is, even though I don't get it all the way, I wouldn't want to see nothing bad happen to you. Wouldn't want to take your freedom or your life. This ain't no coming back from that.
Behind the lines, behind the bars, ain't remember the rules. Mama gave me lessons. Early on I've been schooled. Behind the lines, behind the bars, ain't remember the rules. Mama gave me lessons. Early on I've been schooled. Blackface, male body, always a threat. It's the rules, it's the rules. Ain't remember the rules. Hands high, out of pocket, keep anger in check. It's the rules, it's the rules. Ain't remember the rules. Don't look in the eye, no sagging at night. Keep hands out of pockets, hold them in plain sight. Nod to the officer, never get smart. Hold back the defiance, keep the rage in your heart. Don't matter your right, don't matter your true. Blackface, male body, ain't gonna listen to you. Don't matter your hurting, don't matter your pain. Blackface, male body, you always to blame. It's the rules, ain't remember the rules. Everybody gonna fight, but only you do the time. It's the rules, ain't remember the rules. Blackface, male body, it's always a crime. Shit, hell, goddamn, I don't forget the rules. Mama gave me lessons early on in school. How the hell did I forget the rules? It's the rules. It's the rules. Ain't remember the rules. It's the rules. It's the rules. It's the ah!
My granddaddy, he say we come from a long line of abolitionists. Told me he used to shuttle folks back and forth in the civil rights times when they was doing that bus boycott. And say before that, my great-great-grandmama and my great-great-granddaddy used to move slaves to the north. Say we come from people that believe freedom don't happen by itself. Ain't just for one group. You can't be free if everybody else around you is chained. If we don't know how to connect to a struggle besides our own, we're all screwed. That's what my family believed. Say everybody always got a part to play in whatever world they live in at the time. Every generation. And what you do with your part will determine whether it added value or destruction. It's supposed to be our turn now. Wonder what we gonna add.
Free the Cedar Six! Free the Cedar Six! Free the Cedar Six! Free
Today is a new day. Just like every day, I guess. Today, still hot as hell. Seem like this heat wave ain't never gonna break. Gonna have to adjust to it, maybe. Today, DeAndre ate breakfast with us out on Vale, back at home. We hope it stay that way. Today, my daddy wrote a letter to the governor of Louisiana on behalf of the Cedar Six. My mom would be so proud. Today is a debate at school for the student body. I got my bullet points ready. Today ain't about waiting on change. Today about breaking rules. More rules every day. Till ain't nothing left to break. Till ain't nothing left to fight for. Till the work is done. Today I ain't the same as I was yesterday. Yesterday is gone. Today is here and tomorrow is coming. Yep. Tomorrow.
All right. Nice job, y'all. Welcome, everyone, to our talk back. Thank you for joining us tonight for Dominique Morisseau's Blood at the Root. Yeah, thank you for coming. So we're going to start this talk back. So feel free to drop some questions in the chat that the actors and I and our stage manager would love to answer. So thank you for coming, and we're going to get started. So I'll start. My name is Gabe Moses. My pronouns are he, him, and I was the director for this reading.
Hello, my name is Megan Lomax. My pronouns are she, her, and I played RAYLYNN.
Hi, my name is Alexia Rastelli. My pronouns are she, her, and I played ASHA.
Hey y'all, my name is Justin Mitchell. I use he, him pronouns, and I played Justin.
Hi, I'm Loren Donnelly. My pronouns are she, her, and I played TORIA and Principal Miller.
Hello, I'm Cole Demcher. My pronouns are he, him, and I played Colin.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Russa. I use he, him pronouns, and I played DeAndre.
Courtney, are you there?
I am indeed. Hello, my name is Courtney Pobst. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the stage manager.
All the way from San Diego. we are all across the country. Yeah, so thanks y'all for those introductions. So we have our first question from Samantha. It's my coworker. She's like literally 2 doors down from me. She wants to know, can you tell us about the rehearsal process and your preparation to tackle Miss Morisseau's piece? Well, yeah, sure. I can tell you about my preparation to start. Well, the rehearsal process, we started rehearsing on Zoom last Monday. And so, this is the longest rehearsal process I've had for one of these play readings. It usually happens in the span of like 5 to 7 days. Since I had more time in my hands, I thought we could use the time. So we rehearsed for 8 days, 5 days last week, and there's these 3 days leading up to today. And so, yeah, it was still a quick process, but I think we got a lot out of it. In terms of myself preparing to tackle, this piece, it's a story we all know. It's only researched that I had to do was researching the actual. I didn't know about the Genus 6 in Louisiana before I heard about this play, which is surprising because it's something in history I think needs to be told because it's so recent. And so with that, that's only a bit of research that I really had to do because I knew the characters and I knew the stories they were telling. So tell me if I ever freeze because I'm dealing with this Wi-Fi. Okay, that's good. At least I'm not completely out. Anyone else want to jump in on this question?
I mean, it was kind of the same as you, Gabe. The 2-week process. I mean, I moved in the middle of it, so that was a bit hectic.
Same.
But it was a pretty fun time. I had a great time meeting everybody. This is my first time ever interacting with these people at all, and they're great. I like them a lot. But it was a lot of fun.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's the same. I did not move in the middle of it. So, but one thing I love about Dominique Morisseau is that she writes like poetry. So I think that it was fun. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it and participate in this. I was excited when Gabe asked because the way I've done one other like play of hers before, and so that time I didn't realize how poetic she wrote, and so this time I like went in with the lens of like, okay, and this show is like so clearly written, like with like a structure, and like some of it's just like in verse, but like so that's how one thing I like focused on while I was preparing was just like the structure of the text itself and Gabe brought up a lot in rehearsal, just like how Shakespearean it is, and like it also has its own kind of voice, like August Wilson does, where it like does it kind of for you, and that's awesome. So yeah, that was fun to explore. She's just great.
Yeah, and for people like who know me, like text-based work is like where my strong suit is, especially in this platform. So a lot of my notes to the actors is like, make sure you hit this line, or make sure the pacing here is how it's written. So yeah, it's if you look at the structure of the play, like Megan said, it could be a classical piece if it wasn't taking place in a contemporary time. So in that way, it's very Shakespearean. The rhythm and the music that's within the dialogue is so beautiful. And like this one of those plays that from just reading it, you already are getting the story. You don't need all of the spectacle that comes with a live performance, which there is a lot of music and dance that's written into the play. But of course, in this platform, couldn't have that. You had as much music as we could have. So in that way, it's very theatrical. And we did our best with this reading. Anyone else before we move on to the next question? Cool. All right. So this question is from Mackenzie. She says, Gabe, can you talk about your process in producing live virtual plays? Yeah. So I guess, this was a quarantine thing. I mean, it's not anymore. But, I started this last May when, the country was shut down and theater was on a hold for longer than we expected it to be. And, I kind of already had a passion for directing, but I would say starting these play readings with people in my community definitely made me more passionate about this side of theater. And so throughout that last summer, I just directed 3 play readings, 1 because I had the time, and 2 because I felt that I needed to fulfill myself as an artist, to keep working my craft and keep perfecting it while it wasn't happening in the world. And so I did that, and I just knew that I needed to do work, especially in the time that we were in last year, that was worth hearing, work that highlights Black stories, especially as a Black man myself, work that speaks to people who aren't Black, people who are white, to put it in plain words, and to educate, but also entertain people with these readings when theater wasn't happening. So I used it as a platform, both to like speak the stories that I always kept inside of me, that I didn't have the courage to tell. But after last year, it's like you couldn't not do that. At least I felt that, like I had to use my art, to use my voice in order to get to people, in order to reach people. And so, the first Black playwright I did was the fourth one, Crumbs from the Table of Joy by Lynn Nottage, who's a great playwright. And she was the first Black playwright I did. A lot of the plays previous to that, I did a Shakespeare, but I had a Black actress play Katerina. So obviously the play is gonna put some focus on that when the actress is Black. And before that I did 12 Angry Men, but with all women. So with 12 Angry Women, kind of highlighting gender in that play as well. And that play also touches on race a little bit too. And so a lot of my work does come from the kind of stuff that I think people need to hear, and just the kind of stuff that needs to be done more often, And so I was really glad to jump in on this play, especially because I've been wanting to do a Dominique Morisseau play for a while, but it was finding the right one and finding a play that I thought was perfect for young actors to do, because this is a play that young actors should be doing. And it's definitely one I think should be done more often, even though it's one of her lesser known works. Yeah, I've been speaking a lot, but that question was for me. So there you go. I mean, yeah, and producing stuff like that, it's kind of stuff that I want to direct in the future. Is the kind of stuff that I want to see more of now. So yeah. All righty. Next question from Megan Fry. How different is the play from the actual event? Good question. Does anyone else know the answer to that question? Because there are some differences. Mm-hmm.
I kind of know some of the information. I know that a lot of it is similar in terms of like 6 Black boys jumping a white boy for like possible homophobic undertones. But the ending of this play is extremely different from like what actually happened in real life, because I believe all 6 boys were charged, and some were placed in prison, some weren't. Like some obviously like got off, but that's all I know specifically as of right now. Like, don't quote me or anything. But I do know that like at the end of this play, DeAndre obviously is Colin does something where DeAndre is free from jail. He's home. So there is a difference in regards to that. And if anyone else knows and can correct me, please do.
Anyone else want to put out some facts? In terms of like the duration of this play versus the duration of the actual event, this play takes place in October. The play takes place in October, and the actual event started in August, I believe, August or September. And the actual altercation between the 6 Black students and the white student didn't happen until December. So there was all of this time of tension, obviously, and finally getting to realize like, oh, these are the people who actually did this. So there was much more time in the middle of a lot of what happens in the play. Seems as though it happens within at least the span of a couple of weeks. And we get the sense by the end of the play that, of course, a good amount of time has passed, but it's not clear how much. And so for the purposes of this play, I think the playwright was really getting at like, one, the season that we're in and how much tension heat causes, because that pretty much plays another character in the play. And also just like, even though in real life this took place within, the span of 3 to 4 months, this stuff can happen like in the blink of an eye. It doesn't take much for stuff like this to occur. So yeah, and I think also the town, Gina is the actual town in Louisiana that this took place. But in this story, this kind of fictionalized version, the town is Cedar, Louisiana. And that's why it's called the Cedar 6 instead of the Gina 6, sorry.
Also, the noose like event with the nooses hanging from the tree also happened. That was something that happened. And I'm pretty, like we talk about in the play, like like some white boys jumping a black boy at a party. There was like, I know there were events that led up to everything that involved like racial tension and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what they were, but I remember during like researching prior to this that I saw those two things as well. So it's all, I feel like it's pretty accurate. This is just obviously like a fictionalized version of it, but this is pretty like similar to the actual events, which I think is like really cool, because a lot of the times like plays, movies that are based off of real life events change a lot of things, and like in this it's so much as a name and then like obviously the ending, but like it's pretty similar, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it's a much more condensed version. And for the sake of storytelling in a play, you know, if this was a film, I think it would be more accurate to the actual events, because film is able to do that in their storytelling. Yeah. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know. And so our next question is from Lindsay, another one of my coworkers. They want to know, they said, I never seen a Zoom reading with such scene partner chemistry. How are you able to build that type of trust over Zoom, especially with such politically personal material? Question for the actors.
I feel like for me, like most of my scenes are with Megan, and I know Megan personally, which like was like a lot of fun. I feel like it's kind of like, having been doing like Zoom like readings for a bit, like given like for example, like I graduated college in 2020 when the pandemic started, like as an act, like a musical theater major, so I did a lot of things over Zoom during that time, so it was something I feel like I got used to. But like it's, you never really get used to it per se, but it's like you kind of learn how to separate the fact that you're in a screen. Something like that gets really difficult for me, like in terms of like scene partner, is like I never know, like especially with readings, because like you don't really like memorize a lot of stuff, but you have to try, because it's like you want to look at the screen, but then you also want to look in the camera so it looks like you're actually talking to them, and like that becomes really difficult. And like for me, I just try my best to like, when I know that I don't need the script because I'm like starting to remember those lines from saying them so much in rehearsal, like I don't look at it, and I try to look at the camera, and I think about the camera as if it were the person. So I try to like remove the idea of the fact that it's a screen in front of me, and then I think about like a personal connection. It's weird, but it works. Yeah.
I think that's interesting, because you're saying you look at the camera. I like look at the screen, like, because I'll like, but also, yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. But I do think that Zoom is hard. I like actually like something that made it easy with this cast, or like easier. It's like everyone was like so set with their intentions that like it was just very clear, like, and so it made it easier to live in the world that they created, because like you could see that they existed in that world within their own space, and I found that extremely helpful. So yeah, so I felt, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Megan. I feel like, because I've had most of my scenes with Megan and Lexi, and I feel like they're just really good scene partners. And I've kind of made like connections, because like Megan to me, she kind of, her character reminds me of like my sister, like how strong and like determined she is. And then Lexi, I feel like the problematic parts of the character, as a Black person, I've met lots of people like that who maybe think that they're doing good, but they're just a little messy. So like you've definitely had that. I think DeAndre definitely is more like bold and outright in like what he says, but I feel like both of those things has been what made it easier to have like a connection.
Cole, were you going to say something? I noticed you're.
Yeah. Um, we're just that good people. Um, I think a lot of it came from just it was a very relaxed and chill environment, even though the topics we were talking about were very politically charged. We gave it the space and respect that it needed, so the I guess intensity of the text really didn't affect how we were speaking to each other or our interpersonal relationships. I've never talked to these people before I got on this first Zoom call, but I feel like we're kind of friends. Um, I've acted very silly in front of them, and I just think they're very neat, and it was nice working with all of them.
Broken many things. You've spilled many things. You've moved to New York. Like, come on. A whole journey.
I think to answer the question, I think Gabe had selected a very beautiful cast to put together to put on this play. Because when I started doing my scenes with Loren, that's basically all the scenes that I'm in, or the two-person scenes, it was like, oh, we're just like going back and forth, and I love it. And I really think that like it's really up to like Gabe did what he had to do. And I really just appreciate that because I think everyone here served their character pretty well. And I just really appreciate working with everyone because I've like learned and picked up pieces from everyone.
Yeah, something I would also say is that these people are written so much like people. Like sometimes it gets difficult like in theater because like you feel like you're playing a character, but like these people don't feel like characters, they feel like people. And like kind of to touch on like the politically personal like part, like everybody has a monologue that kind of like explains a little bit about themselves to the audience and like just like kind of to us as the actors playing them, and it really like becomes helpful too in terms of like making it personal even through a screen. So that's another thing.
Yeah. I agree with that a lot. I think, I mean, first of all, I think as actors, we all got along, and I think as people, because we work together so well, it made the chemistry a lot easier. But I think, as you were saying, Alexia, like in her writing, each character has things that you like and dislike about them. Characters that you like human characteristics that even if you don't see their point of view or agree with what they did, they humanize the character for you. And so then I think you're able to connect in a different way because it's not even about politics. You're seeing that person for who they are, irrespective of just a political party or a point of view. You're seeing them as a human. And I think that then through a screen, it doesn't even matter. I think the connection is there. So that's my 2 cents.
Cool. All right. I have a question for Courtney. What was it like? Obviously you've never worked with any of these people. And you are all the way across the country. So like this is your first time, like not stage managing a Zoom production, but stage managing one with people you don't know, and two, like with people who are nowhere near you.
Yeah. It has truly been magical to watch you all do your work and be the artists that you are, and coming into this space and taking this, what I would believe is a very difficult text, and bringing it to light in such a beautiful, magical way. It has just been an honor working with you, but stage managing over Zoom it has had its ups and downs, but I've thoroughly enjoyed this whole process. And you have made it so easy to walk into this room and just be hypnotized by the work that you're doing. So it's been honestly effortless, and it's weird walking into a rehearsal room at like 3 p.m. But I would do it all over again. So it's been great.
Yeah, you're awesome. Yeah.
I can put a question to the actors if we have the time.
Sure. Yeah.
I have loved watching you all delve into your characters and the work that you've done with them. And I know that there might be some similarities and differences with you as a person and a character, but what, if you have any, what is one lesson that you can take away from your character, or what is one thing that you've learned from them, be it good, bad, or indifferent?
I think, okay, go ahead, Nicola.
Um, I would say I learned from DeAndre to definitely be like fearless and more like true to myself and to maybe like be more bold and make things more like uncomfortable because I feel like it's more needed. And me as a person sometimes and like how I was raised is like very not like that sometimes. So I feel like I've definitely learned that a lot from DeAndre. Like there's like it's I mean like the character of Justin, I feel like there's some things like him that I'm like more like. Um but I definitely feel like from DeAndre I can definitely like take away to be just way more of like a stronger person.
I think from RAYLYNN that I learned like to like let things go and like keep looking forward. I think like in her argument or like not an argument, but like tussle with ASHA. Like when she's like ASHA, she says it doesn't make everyone like that, just because someone doesn't agree with me doesn't make them my enemy. And I was like, I didn't say that it did. And then she's like, yeah, but you don't have to say that for everyone to know. And then I was like, the first time we did it, I was like, oh, that is very true. So I don't know. So like that was like just like a lesson. And that was like what a prime example of like being like, yeah, and keeping that just like hope alive of keeping moving forward, because she like inspired people around her and she didn't even try. It was just innately within.
I think what I like most about Toria and what she's taught me and kind of what I identify with is she's very passionate and mostly good intentioned. I'd say even when she does something, even if she goes about it in a totally incorrect manner, I think somehow she does believe she's doing the right thing and she's trying to be honest and passionate and truthful. And so I think her passion and her drive and her desire, I think, to inform and to give people access to knowledge and information is admirable and something that I could learn from her. Just to be more passionate about anything I do.
I think for me, ASHA learned to stick with the places that feel like home. And I feel like that's a really important lesson, is that like you like her, like in her monologue where she says like, you know, she's like saying like if acting Black means being like Sharon and finding love in places you weren't expecting it, like I think like it's to really delve into the places where you find love, where what makes you feel like home. And like that's something I've just been learning in life in general, but I've learned it just a little bit extra in here. I think that's just really important to me, like Lexi, like, so yeah.
What I've really learned from Justin is that there's humanity in everybody. Because when Justin, his point of view at first was not for me. And I was like, okay, like there's something happening here. That's why he's thinking this way. But then the monologue in the end made me realize like how he's justified where he's coming from. Even if I may not agree with him, but he's justified in who he is. And I'm glad that Dominique actually wrote that for him. Because I also think that it's a great topic to explore, especially within the Black community. And also going into like having the monologues of like where he's just talking about himself and like how he doesn't like when Toria calls him invisible. It's like those moments of seeing a Black person be vulnerable, where you don't necessarily get to see it as often. And that vulnerability for me is what I really love. Like for me personally, like I want the hood to know that they can be vulnerable and show emotions. And that's something that I'm really passionate about. And that's what I've learned about Justin.
Colin is a very interesting character in the case where you really don't know him a whole lot. A lot of who he is and his thought process is in mystery. He does have his monologue kind of explaining himself a little bit. But I think the main thing I've learned from Colin is to calm down, to fucking relax a second. Because he is very obsessed with how other people view him. He can't, even being called a horrible name set him off so violently that it instantly became unclear who started what. So I understand the fear of exposing yourself a little bit too much and becoming vulnerable because everyone knows you. But it's also important to not get consumed with that, because who really cares what other people think about you? You're you, and you're supposed to try and be happy. And I think Colin really forgot that, and he's more obsessed with people thinking he's normal and cool than being normal and cool with himself, if that makes sense. That's all I got.
Great answers to a great question. So we have about a few minutes left. If we can use them, be fun. I mean, if y'all have questions for each other, feel free, or if anyone has any last question to ask, go ahead and drop it on in the chat. Does anyone have a favorite like line or moment? I always like asking that, even though people hate me for it in the play.
I know my favorite moment. And it's between ASHA and RAYLYNN, and it's when ASHA presents RAYLYNN the poster, and I was like, damn. I said, this gets me. I really love that moment. Because like they just fought, but you can tell that like ASHA actually really does care. That gets me.
That whole scene is my favorite moment because it's just so interesting. Like that's to me like a sign of like best friends, is like when you can fight and yell at each other like that in the middle of the school hallway, and then you're just like, so how about that weather though? Like, and then she just like remembers like what's important to her, like to her best friend in that moment, and she pulls out the sign and she shows her. And it's I picked up on when RAYLYNN says, because it's just time, she says it to Colin when he asks her why she's running, and then ASHA shows up, so she literally hears it and then she writes it on the poster, and it's just so cute and I love it. So I would agree that whole scene is my favorite moment in the play. Also the scene between TORIA and Justin where he has his big monologue, that's also one of my favorite moments.
That gave me chills today. I just have to say, chills everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like sobbing. I'm like, okay, this really can prepare me for my rap, because it's just the way he does it is so good, and I like relate to it so much, but like he makes it like so real and human, and it's so good.
Thank you. It's my scene partner, Loren. Come on, like just feeds it, like, you know.
Justin, it's literally all you.
I love when actors fight.
I think also favorite moments are like, I think anything like Lexi says is ASHA like literally cracks me the fuck up. Like everything is so funny to me. Um, yeah, I don't know. I love all, just like every moment she's on too.
This is when everyone just compliments each other, right? No, all of you are so great. I'm trying to think. I don't even know what my favorite moment is. Yeah, don't wait on me.
My favorite moment is the telephone game because I think it's a fun little break from everything, and we just kind of get to gossip and have fun and comedic scene. I like how the person I'm playing is adamant that it was 100 black boys. Adamant. What?
I have to agree with Cole. Like, that's also really funny. It's hugely problematic. Okay, a problematic scene. But it's also one of those scenes where you get to just see teenagers be teenagers. And it's something that like I've just realized I've seen 100,000 times. And then like seeing everyone play it out, I'm like cracking up every single time we do it.
The cadence of that scene makes it flow so naturally, and it feels like a natural high school conversation, but it's about something so real and so important that it has such a weight and such like a humor to it that it just works really well. I haven't chosen a favorite part. I'm just harping on everyone else's. You are all correct. So
No, yeah, same. I mean, I think I know mine. I mean, when I first read the play, I like right off the bat, when I got to scene 5, which is the Willie Lynch scene, when Justin comes in with that big monologue, and he tells the story of like how we got to the 3 nooses hanging on the tree. And when I got to that moment in the play, when I first read it, I was like, oh, so this is where we're going, you know, like this is where we're going. And when I was reading the stage directions too, I thought like, man, I'm really gonna miss out on creating the theatricality of this scene, because there's dance movement written in, and like the ensemble of the play, the other students who aren't the principals kind of create the tree and the 3 nooses with their bodies. So like that's a really interesting image. Like it's one of the things that made me excited to tackle this piece. And like the play that's at the top of my list out of all the play readings I've done that I want to eventually direct in person one day, just because of how much you can get out of hearing the play, hearing the language, but also by students or young people. And that's just like, it's so moving to see like where it starts within our culture and the human experience, if you will.
Can I also say one more favorite moment? The end of the play where RAYLYNN does the monologue, Megan does that monologue, and it's so beautiful. And then Gabe, you added the sound, and then DeAndre Nicholas comes in, and I was like, oh shit. Like that's another favorite moment of mine. You know, this play just has a really, it's a great play.
Yeah, if you have the power to produce it, direct it, put it on, because it needs to be done more often. Yeah. And so to kind of wrap things up here, thank you to those of you who have tuned in and watched the whole thing. And if you are one of those people who couldn't come tonight and you're watching it later and you're hearing this now, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch it. We appreciate you. This might be the last one. For those of you who have followed me, this might be the last one, because I think it's time to take that next step. I think we're ready. And so I this has been the most rewarding experience that I could have asked for, especially doing this play right now in this time. Like, I can get emotional talking about it, but I won't. But it's something very special to me, and I hope it's special to those of you who watched it and those of you who have worked on it with me. I always like to tell the people who I've worked with, thank you for your artistry and your commitment and your passion for what you do. Because none of us are getting paid to do this. We're doing it because we love to do it, right? And that's the beauty of being young, thriving, starving artists. Hopefully we book them plus all of us really soon, if we're not already. So yeah, thank you all for watching very much. And we appreciate all of your kind words that you've put in the chat. And yeah, we'll see you on the other side, wherever that may be. So thank you and have a great rest of your evening.